Hey everybody, good morning. I'm going to make this video and it's a rather large thought, so I'm going to try to get this out there as eloquently as I can. Basically, in the last 5 years, I found that many of us have fallen into this trap. We end up hating our enemies so much that we find ourselves cheering for the bad guys because our enemies are aligned with a third party. I'll give an example. The Ukraine war. You can nuance it, who started, who's the bad guy, all that stuff. But reality is, Russia invaded Ukraine. They're the bad guy in this situation. But a lot of us and a lot of YouTubers find themselves cheering for Russia and Putin because they hate Biden and Trudeau and Macron so much that they're going to cheer for Russia because watching Russia beat Ukraine is beating these assholes like Biden and Trudeau and Macron and the rest of those leftist bums in Europe. But at the expense of what? Ukrainian people, Ukrainian children, Ukrainian soldiers, at the expense of, Russian lives too. So it makes no sense. You think about it, it's like, it's easy to fall into this trap. Well, I hate Biden so much. I can't wait to see the look on his face when Russia takes this part of Ukraine. But if you went to Ukraine, if you actually saw the war, you'd be like, this is horrible. These people are real. I don't want Russia to win. Can this end? The other day I saw a video yesterday of a YouTuber I've been following during the election, and another guy too, and they were cheering that the housing market in BC was collapsing and in the rest of Canada. They're like, haha, Carney, you take over and shit's hitting the fan now. Well, wait a second. That shit happens to be Canadian homeowners and whatnot and our country. Like, I get it. I'm not big on the Liberals at all. You might have guessed that. And I know these people personally, so people can argue about all these friggin' policies and, oh, they're nice and conservatives are bad. I know them in depthly, just like you wouldn't argue with Wayne Gretzky about the Edmonton Oilers. Don't argue with me about politics. But everybody's cheerleading the Canadian economy taking a nosedive out of spite towards the Liberals. Well, wait a second. This is our country. This is a poisonous mindset. Now, I'm not letting the Liberals, the left, do this all the time. And I don't speak for them, but I watch them do it all the time, right? Cheering when cities burn by BLM, and oh, take that, Trump. Fuck, man. Like, Trump's the last guy to suffer. Just like the last person to starve in Russia is Putin. Kim Jong-un and all those people, like, cheering for these disasters. Like, what do we become? Like, I'm not religious, but this is like every Bible, every the Old Testament, New Testament, the Quran, all warn about this mentality. This is not new. This is a poisonous mentality that's been around for a long time, and it's basically evil. So we're falling to this trap. So my point is, next time you find yourself cheering disaster out of spite towards some leftist or right-wing person that's championing the opposite cause, I want to see this team win. Well, I hope that a plane crashes, it kills everybody. Give your head a shake. You're falling for some kind of evil trap. It's not right. But we're all doing it. I'm guilty of that. And I think a lot of people on here are guilty of that too. So let's try to make things better. Let's try to give some perspective. Let's try to think about the people we hate and the causes, and when we cheer disaster, when we cheer death and defeat, at whose expense is what you need to question. All right, have fun, be young, drink Pepsi.